Hey there guys, hi, welcome back to another awesome video. It's time for another comic book review. Today's comic review is going to be of Power Rangers Beyond the Grid. So Power Rangers Beyond the Grid follows multiple Rangers from different universes, some from the same universe, some from our universe, some from different universes, and they're all stuck and stranded in space, and they come across this new mysterious ranger that can help them with new powers, gain new allies, new trust, while fighting the forces of evil. So, real quick, few things is I guess illustrators and authors are Bennett Di Maio and Francesco Martorino Biamonte and Carla Mangeo. Just to at least name out the illustrators, I'm not familiar with their work, and you're probably not familiar with their work, but hey, it's good to point out the illustrators and at least the people behind the scenes making these comics, because they're creating characters, they're creating stories. And this is not my first Power Rangers comic I picked up. This is my second one. That's the second thing I want to mention, because I picked up a while back. It was Mighty Morphin Volume 1. I haven't got to finish the rest of that, but I figured to pick up Beyond the Grid because I've been dying to hear about the multiverse, more of that shattered grid, shattered dimensions, and of course, I heard about the Soul Rangers. So, if you haven't really read or seen this comic, I will say there's going to be a few mild spoilers a bit about the story, but nothing too keen that maybe you might not be familiar with or you may be familiar with, so just at least put that out there. Just a small spoiler warning, maybe pick it up. I definitely do recommend this book, that is for sure, without a doubt. And it is great seeing all these different individual Rangers kind of be formed as this team. Like, it's good to see all these familiar faces, like with Andros being the Red Ranger, Heckle, who is now the Dark Ranger, filling in for that Blue Ranger, I guess, spot, even though it's kind of odd that he is the Blue Ranger in this, I guess, team. But it's great that he's in this team. You've got Kimberly, aka the Pink Ranger, aka Ranger Slayer. Cam Watanabe, the Ninja Storm Green Ranger, is obviously the Green Ranger. Tanya from Zeo is the Yellow Ranger. And of course, Mike, aka the Magnum Defender, is our Black Ranger. So it's interesting to see all these different Rangers across the galaxy, across the universe, whether they are familiar with each other or not, whether in the same universe or from different multiverses, they are willing to kind of come together and bond in a way. And this new Solar Ranger definitely helps in the mix. And by introducing the Solarix, I think it was called, which kind of does, I think this dates to before the Zeo crystals in terms of the Solarix, because that energy source is older than the Zeo crystals, or it might be as old as the Zeo crystals, at least to my knowledge, from what I remember. But it was able to help power up and energize, and still the Solarix, the point I'm making is the Solarix plays kind of a small key part in the Rangers' powers, like from the power coins to the Zeo crystals, kind of where everything all kind of almost originated. So it's kind of interesting of that sort of fact to point that out. And speaking of the Solarix and the Solar Ranger, let's talk about her, specifically the main Solar Ranger we do see, because we do see technically two Solar Rangers. We see Alarian and we see Remy. And they're both the Purple Ranger and the Orange Ranger, making this team, I think, a team of 6 to 8, I think, because I think it's Andros, it's Heckle, it's Kimberly, it's Cam, it's Mike, it's Tanya, it's Alarian, and it's Remy. And I do like the additions of the Soul Rangers, and I like seeing the story behind both Remy and Alarian, where they came from, their two worlds kind of sort of a situation, and their kind of how they meet the Rangers that we obviously are introduced in the story, with obviously our team that we see, and how Alarian is introduced to them and kind of has, like, obviously it's building trust, building that connection, building that bond, that foundation, and Alarian's trying to figure out, like, why you guys are able to bond so well. And it's because of things like, because each individual Ranger in this team is able to relate and connect in a way, whether it's trust, whether it's faith, whether it's betrayal, whether it's redemption, anything along those lines. Any of these members have feeling inside of them internally they're able to connect and relate and bond and sort of build on that, the ground up on that foundation. And that's where Alarion does start to see more of why this team is our team for the time being. And I'm gonna keep calling her Alarion because in my sort of like a small kind of tiny gripe about the Solar Ranger, specifically Alarion, is that I don't like the name Ari for personal reasons, number one. And number two, it doesn't make any sense to me because her nickname is Ari, but her name is Alarion because it doesn't make any sense. Where do you get the nickname Ari in the name Alarion? Usually you get your nickname within your name. Like, you get Jonathan, you get John from Jonathan, or Mike from Michael. You don't get Ari from, that's spelled A-R-I, from Alarion, that is spelled E-L-L-A, whatever it is. Or it's not even, there's not even an A vowel in that name, so it makes no sense that her name is Ari, in my opinion, or nicknamed Ari. I mean, I get it, because Remy calls her Ari, and they're a couple, which is nice. I mean, this is probably our first LGBTQ Ranger couple, I guess, in the comic world. I don't know about the TV shows, but definitely in the comic world, it is established that. So I think, and plus Alarion sounds like a better name than Ari in my opinion, but that's just personal reasons. I just don't like the name Ari as of right now, so yeah. So, but I do like her as a Solar Ranger. I like the idea of the Solar Rangers, and I liked seeing more of the Solar Rangers. The only other thing is that this was a temporary thing. This luckily did help the Rangers power up their morphers and their powers, so they got their original powers, but they also got the Solar Ranger powers too. But that was just only for temporarily, just for this storyline. But we're not gonna see, I don't think we'll ever see the Solar Rangers again, unfortunately. Like, in terms of the Solar Rangers. We might see these individuals again, like we'll probably see Ranger Slayer, we'll see Andros, we'll see Heckle. Heck, they're probably, this was in 2017, 2018, so they're probably in the later comics, or maybe in like other like comics and installments going on right now. So I wouldn't be too surprised on that. Point I'm making is that this is the one-time deal we saw the Solar Rangers, and it would have been nice to maybe see a little bit more of the Solar Rangers, like maybe see more stories involving them, see this as a group grow bigger and stronger as a team, and maybe reconnect or maybe regroup. That would be kind of cool to see in other books, or maybe in other comics if you want to bring back the Solar Rangers, because I do want to see more of the Solar Rangers. This was a one-time deal, I have a feeling, but I'd like to see more of them. This would be cool. They looked really interesting, how their costumes looked, their designs of the Solar Rangers looked really interesting, and as a team they worked pretty well. The Zords, the Solar Zords, were kind of interesting too. Sure, they could have maybe matched their animals or their elements or anything along those lines, but they looked very cosmic. They looked pretty dope. I liked that very much. And they worked pretty well as a team. And like I said, with their ideologies and their different individual isms about each other, they learned and everything. Like how much we learn, how much, like let's say, take for example, Kimberly and Heckle can really like relate in so many ways because they want to be redeemed for being known for being the very brooding and dark like character that has like a dark past or a dark history with the Rangers, and they just want redemption. So you take those two were great to see, like working off each other. Tanya and Mike have working off each other, with Mike have lost his brother Leo, and then Tanya trying to be that hope to give him a little bit at least, and that Mike in this team, this is the only family that he has in terms of Ranger wise. It's like this is all he has left. He has nobody from his universe, basically. All the Galaxy Rangers are dead from what it sounds like in his world. So he's the only Mad Defender, he's the only Galaxy Ranger. So he's really like not clinged on to these Rangers, but he's like attached to them because it's like his family. So seeing more of these elements explored in later comics would be kind of cool. And to see this team would be awesome as well. And can't forget but mention the villain. I mean, he is no Lord Zed, he's no Mesogog, he's no Daishi, he's no Astronema, or even actually that's pretty much it I could probably think of. But I do like kind of the backstory he had behind him, that he was one of those master morphers that helped create the power coins, helped create the grid itself. He just had different beliefs, he had different ideas compared to his his predecessors compared to his colleagues, and they just weren't seeing his vision. And because his vision corrupted him, it made him the crazed creator that he is. So I thought it was kind of interesting. The only thing I could kind of say is I wish the fight would have been longer with the Zords and with him like fighting the Power Rangers. I wish there would have been a longer fight than just kind of one strike kills him with one kill, one strike, one shot, one kill. But hey, I mean, it still works fine. Usually I don't really rate or grade, or I'm not going to rate or grade comics. I will just say my opinions because I will read any comic and find something good and maybe find something bad in them. But I think for this one, just for this one time being, I'm going to say, and I'm going to give Power Rangers Beyond the Grid, I'm going to give it, you know what, I'll give it an A-. This is the one graded comic book I'll ever do. But other than that, I won't really rate or grade comics. Just I wanted to try something, that's all. Because I'm still figuring out like how to rate and how to really grade comics, or I might not just grade them at all. But Beyond the Grid, have you guys read it? What did you think of it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What is your favorite thing about this story if you read it so far? And what do you think of the Solar Rangers? Do you want to see more of them? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please smash the like button. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I do awesome videos every day, if not every week. And make sure you ring that bell. I do videos every day, if not every week. Share the video with your family and friends, all that good stuff and more. And leave some suggestions in the comments as well. Anything, you name it, I'll look into it as best as I can, whatever it may be. I'm trying to think what will be next for you guys to look forward to. Probably a little some more movie reviews, and maybe I'll have a top 10 list and a few things for with The Masked Singer season 5 happening. I might do a few things here and there to kind of like build up that hype almost, or kind of get on that like, hey, in honor of season 5 happening, look out for this and this. So yeah, but more specifically, there'll be maybe a few things in between and all that other stuff, but it'll be probably just for the time being a few top 10s, but mostly movie reviews. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.